Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing rogerestrany in the 15-minute pool on ICC. Just checking who this guy is real quick. He's only played one 15-minute game. He must have beat someone pretty good to get this rating. But yeah, this is his first 15-minute game, so that's a provisional rating, highly provisional. I'll play bishop f5 in this position. His other ratings are not hugely impressive. I mean, his 5-minute rating is not even 1600. So we'll see how he plays in standard. I'll play h6. This move is acceptable. Just to make sure knight h4, if he plays that, I can play bishop h7. I'll go bishop e7 here. I've had this position several times. Then I'll castle. He takes on d5. Okay, usually they don't take this quickly on d5. So which way to take back? Always a key question in this line. I think I'll take with the e-pawn. It unbalances the position. And he goes knight e5. Okay. Well, taking is fine. As is a move like rook e8. I think I will take just to force him to take with the bishop. If I wait on that move, he might play knight f3, the other knight to f3, and be able to recapture with the knight. So I don't mind taking here. Just thinking about knight d7 or maybe pawn a5 in this position. I think knight d7 is fine. I'll go knight d7 and then I'll put my bishop on f6 and attempt to trade the dark square bishops with him. I'm just going to check his history. I'm curious who he beat. Doesn't say. These are his games, but he's just been playing 1 minute lately. Okay, so bishop back to b2. And I kind of like just bishop f6 now. So let's do that. I'm happy to trade. Probably take with the queen, because I don't think my knight would be that well placed on f6 anymore. I think this position is good for me because I have pressure on e2. I like that aspect of my position. Maybe a5. a5 is like a probing move. That looks good. I could also just play rook e7. Maybe double up and attack his... Yeah, I like rook e7 a little bit more. Double up and attack his pawn on e2. Okay, let's proceed as planned. Not a whole lot going on in the position. I say black is very, very comfortable, but if white is at a disadvantage, it's only slightly. I think they can deal with the pressure on e2. They just need to be careful. Okay, so with the rook being here and his back rank being down one defender now, I'll be on the lookout for bishop takes d3 tricks I might have. So that's a move I may want to utilize in the future. As far as what to do right now, I'm kind of tempted to play bishop g4 because I don't think my light square bishop is that good anymore. I know that contradicts what I just said about keeping open the bishop takes d3 idea, but I like this move because if I can get him to play h3 and then take, ooh, actually that would just win for me. I'm threatening just to take on f3. Yeah, and if he takes with his bishop, I have queen takes. That just wins on the spot for me, doesn't it? Huh. That's pretty cool. Well, might be a quick game today. Yeah, I could just play queen takes f3, and if ef, rook takes e1, and I'm going to be up a piece in the resulting position. Thanks to that back rank being weak. Yeah, that's it. There's no way you can complicate it. It's just a straight piece. So he resigned. I gained exactly 1 rating point from that. So I went up to 2319 because the guy was provisional. Okay, well, let's have a brief look. So miniature standard game, by far my shortest standard game I've had. So this is a real solid setup for black. I almost always do this against knight f3 and g3 and bishop g2 because I like the fundamental nature of it, putting two connected pawns on the same diagonal that his bishop wants to occupy. I really like that idea for black. It's a well-known idea. I didn't come up with this by any means. So e6, and then I played knight f6. Occasionally I'll play this position and delay the development of this knight. So I'll play like bishop e7, and then castles, and then c5, and then knight c6. I've done that from time to time. But I just decided to play straightforward in this case. h6 is useful because if I were just to play like bishop e7 or something, he could play knight h4 and try to grab the two bishops. Give him some sort of long-term thing to play with. So I think h6 is a perfectly acceptable move for black now, and I played it before. So c4, I castle. So I've had this position before, and I think I've had opponents play mainly rook c1 and also queen c2, but never taking on d5 as far as I can remember. I think it's probably okay to take with either the e or the c pawn in this position. C takes d5 looks less interesting to me somehow, so that's why I took with the e pawn. Also, I like the fact that I will have the half-open e-file and pressure against his pawn on e2 subsequently. But let's just see what the computer prefers. Computer likes c takes, but yeah, I don't know how big of a difference it makes. It also says black is really comfortable after e takes as well. So knight e5. We swap knights. As I was saying, I don't have to take on e5, but if I play like rook e8, he might jump the other knight in, and then he can replace the knight on e5, and I'd have to deal with this knight again. So I think just trading and forcing him to take with his bishop, he doesn't really want to take with his bishop. If you compare these two minor pieces, this is just kind of interesting. I mean, a knight in the center like that, a knight on e5, that's a useful outposted piece for him. But bishops like don't necessarily do well in the center on outposts, unless it's like clearly good there or clearly entrenched and can never be kicked away. Bishops often just prefer to be back like on their fianchetto square. They're long-range pieces, so they don't have to be in the center to exert a lot of influence on the position. So I think all things considered, taking is good to force his long-range piece to take, rather than letting his other short-range piece, the knight, replace the other knight when I do capture on e5. So I took, he took, I played rook e8, and he defended his bishop. Knight d7, and yeah, I think trading the dark square bishops is pretty good because that's an excellent piece for him. I want to get it off the board. And I also open up my rook, so there's some tangible pressure building against e2. I thought about playing a5, but a5 is kind of like a generic space gaining move I might revert to later. It felt a little bit too early to play it when I had such a clear idea of attacking e2. I was wondering if e4 was possible for him here. Point being that even though I attacked that square 3 times, that if take, I can't take with the bishop because he has queen takes d7. Although maybe I have bishop takes f3. But my pawn on b7 is hanging, so he can probably grab that if he wants. Interesting. But I actually don't think there's anything wrong at all with this move, so if I wanted to take with a rook and keep my bishop defending d7. That was just one thing I was curious about. And actually that's part of the reason I played rook e7 here instead of like rook e6, for instance. But it might have been unnecessary. I wonder, let's add the engine again. Engine likes a5, so that generic space gaining move once again. I'm happy with rook e7 though. I would play that again. Yeah, and rook c2 was a little risky. It just exposes his back rank and makes him more vulnerable to tactics. Yeah, he's just kind of worse here. There's no target for him to attack, and he's tied down to e2, and he knows it. So rook c2, and then bishop g4, yeah, and he's got to be careful. He's got to be extremely careful now. Looks like the only way to... Well, one of the only ways to play it is to go queen d2. The The point of that is if I take, I don't want to go here because now he actually can escape to g2 without losing his queen. So I don't know what I would do against that. Yeah, I might start maneuvering my knight. Like knight f8 was one thing the computer said. I might take, and after bishop takes, just play knight e5. This is kind of what I was thinking. Like, I might get into a position where my knight can hop around and create threats against his position, whereas his light square bishop has a hard time generating anything against my position. But, yeah, he just blanked on the tactic. Bishop takes f3, needless to say. So, yep. Has to play something like queen d2. He can't move his knight away, really, because he'll lose e2, I think. I mean, like, knight d2 clearly loses this. Maybe he can play knight h4, but no, I just have g5, don't I? Trying to force his knight right back from where it came. And do the same tactic. So, yeah, nifty move. Bishop takes f3, and he's busted. Take and take. No way he can gain even, like, a pawn or something out of this. So, if the game had continued, he would have taken and...
Check.
Yeah, I get this in.
Check.
And I'll be up a piece and just winning the game. So, okay, 22 move miniature. I will be back tomorrow with another standard game. And, yeah, I hope to get some more high-rated opponents. This guy was provisional, so, you know, kind of a bummer. Just, like, not a... I don't want to say not a legitimate 2470, but he's not an established 2470, so that's completely different. Anyways, I hope you guys picked up a thing or two from this video, and if you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.